Let's do it. Bengals, Colts. This is going to be a fun one. We have the Bengals sitting as 8-point favorites, opening at 8-point favorites, but now we have 7.5s on the board. Princess C says Canada's favorite haters, and Mr. Know-It-All says 5-0 Braves. Finally, break being on a little rough playoff stretch. Changing that tonight, baby. God, I need the money. Bengals, Colts. We have 8 and 7.5s on the board. Also, this total sitting at 47.5 or 48 for Bengals, Colts. At this point, 76% of the cash is on the Colts. 65% of the tickets are on the Colts. And an interesting spot with the total, 71% of tickets are on the over, but some big bets have come in on the under. Big bets have come in on the under. So 70% of the money is on the under. Joe Burrow and the 1-3-1 Bengals, 0-2-1 on the road, was sacked 7 times, forced into a pair of turnovers in that 27-3 loss at Baltimore. That was one of my losses last week. Burrow completed 19 of 30 passes for 183 yards, threw a pick, lost a fumble. He's been getting hit hard, Bebsy. He's been sacked 22 times in 5 games. Mixon, who rushed for 151 yards last week, 59 yards on 24 carries. Last week against the Jags, they amassed 505 yards. Against the Ravens, just 205 yards. Most of that was in garbage time. A field goal at 32 seconds was the only reason why they didn't get shut out. Defensive tackle DJ Reader was carted off the field in the third quarter with a knee injury. A.J. Green missed most of the second half with a hamstring injury. Defensive tackle Sam Hubbard left with an elbow injury. John Ross, Mackenzie Alexander remain out. Now let's talk about these Colts. Colts defense came in allowing the fewest passing yards, points, and led the NFL in interceptions, and the Browns put up 385 yards on them, an average of 5.3 yards per play in the 32-23 win over the Colts. Dennis Garcia in our chat, he said, look who the Colts have been playing against. This is the first time they're going up against an elite offense, and they lose. Rivers goes 21 of 33 for 243 yards, 2 picks. Jonathan Taylor runs 12 times for 57 yards. T.Y. Hilton, a little better. He's not looked like himself all year. 6 passes he catches for 69 yards. Outry left in the first half with an ankle injury, their defensive tackle. Safety Julian Blackman left with a groin injury. And we saw what this defense looks like without Darius Leonard. Not very strong. This is a fun one to get the show started, Bebsy. Bengals, Colts, take it away.
You said a lot of what I wanted to say there. This Colts team, obviously, they're not the same without Darius Leonard. It is very apparent. And, was it Garcia that said this team hasn't faced anybody yet? It's true. And they finally came up against a surging Browns team. Not a team I want to put money on because they're still the Browns to me, but they are looking good. And Indy looked bad last week. Now the team they're playing this week looked horrendous, and I wonder if those hits are starting to take their toll with Burrow. It's hard to say after 1 week playing one of the best teams in football, but he didn't look the same. He looked like he's been getting thumped a few times, and he's like, hey, I got to make a career out of this game. I can't keep taking these hits and getting blasted, which has been part of his success early on. So for me, this is a real tough spot because up until last week, we kind of had Burrow the backdoor cover man, and then he just got destroyed. But also at the same time, the Colts really got humbled last week. So I don't even know which way I lean in this one, to be honest with you. It's a lot of points for a team that's coming off not a very good game, but they're playing against a team who had a worse week. So I don't know. This is a difficult one for me staring at it out the gates.
It is. I have to lean towards the Colts completely shutting them down. That would be a lean. But then I guess we need to wait to see if Darius Leonard is in the house.
He's so integral to what they do on defense. And he's also the heartbeat. Like he's that emotional leader out there. So if he's not there, it's just a different football team. Now they're still going against, let's face it, Burrow, who has played better than expectations, even for a first overall pick so far. He's been really carrying an awful football team. And if Mixon can't get going, what do they have? And AJ Green's hurt again. Surprise, surprise. Like, this is just it's Bilal, this is a stay away game for me too, man.
Well, if this keeps going down, like if Leonard's in the game and you can get a 7, maybe let's just see what the Colts first half is right now. If you wanted the Colts first half, it's a 5. It actually opened at 4.5, so I don't know. At this point, no move on this Colts spot. Rob T says Colts have shown they can play defense. Bengals have not. And that is true, but the Chiefs did control that game, and Rivers did not look good. Maceo says, what was Bebsy's record last week? It was 5-1 plus 3.85 units. Those 6 games, he was on Panthers plus 3. He lost on Chiefs first half -7. He cashed Cardinals first half -3.5. That was a double up for me. He cashed Steelers first game full game -7. Ravens first half -7. And Vikings team total over 23.5. 5-1. There's Robert Allen in the house. That's Bengals Colts.